What's going down, y'all? So I'm gonna teach you guys, hopefully under 5 minutes, hopefully, how to install mesh on your earbuds. Because these earbuds get expensive, and even when you buy the cheap ones, it's like they don't come with the mesh, so you gotta figure something out. Because the problem is, when you don't have the mesh, these little holes get clogged, and if you try to unclog them or whatever, you could mess up that little screen, and if you mess it up, now you got to replace it, and it just becomes drama, right? So you don't want that. So I'm gonna show you guys how to do it without any glue. Anyway, but before I do, I'm gonna teach you guys a little lesson on audio, because a lot of people buy these ear tips, and they don't really notice it until you know until they see a video or something. But anyway, most of these guys are 4 millimeter. Most drivers are 4.4 millimeters. Most of them. Some are like 4.3, 4.5, or 6 or whatever, but they're around the same size. But they give you a smaller one so they could fit nice and snug. And you would think that that's a good thing. Sure, it's good for the fact that the earbud will stay. It will stay. I'll give it that. But it cancels the audio. And let me show you how. When you stretch this lower part out, it becomes this. And then this tube here in the middle that is supposed to go straight, that was supposed to be straight, it's not straight no more. What ends up happening is that you're canceling the bass waves. And then the highs and the mids are going to be mostly of what you hear, and the bass is going to be canceled out at least 35 to 40%. And that's going to sound more high-pitched. What you're going to want to do is have, rather you're going to get you need a 4.4 instead of a 4 millimeter, depending on what earbud you have, right? If it says 5.5, then get it at 5.5. But I ended up using the stock earbud because the stock earbud is straight and it's giving me all the sound that it can. And look, there's the mesh that I installed. So this mesh is basically like bridal mesh, or like what do they call this thing? It's like vinyl, like thin vinyl, or yeah. Well, anyway, I got this at Joann's for like Joann's or Michael's, like these art stores, I think I got this for like 30 cents or something like that. Anyway, I bought that, and look how thin that is, right? And it's kind of like a thin material. You could also order it online to find it in Walmart too. But anyway, what you're gonna want to do is cut one of these pieces, and you probably cut it, I don't know, like an inch and a half or so. I could cut this thing. So here you go. That's like probably like 4" by 1.5". It's not much, right? Here's my earbud. Here's the piece I cut. Look how thin that is, right? But what I ended up doing was folding it 4 times. 1, 2, right? Because one is up top and one is at the bottom. That's 2 layers. That's 3 layers. And that's 4 layers. Right? Look how fine that looks. Nothing is getting through there. So, without any glue, what you're going to want to do is put your earbud inside out and start toying with it after you put the mesh on top. And make sure that it's on correctly. Right? And after it's done, you're going to want to go with smaller scissors and do this number. Ta-da. What kind of... And I mean, you could get really detailed, right? You could cut as much as you want, and I cut a lot, as much as I can with these little scissors. Well, at the end it looks like this. You could tether some little hairs in there, but it's no big deal because it covers it. And the whole point is to protect the driver inside, right? The whole point is to tell this guy, hey, little guy, you're safe now. Because the thing is this, are you going to spend freaking $15 to $25? I actually saw a set of three that cost freaking $55 and it had a titanium part in the interior, and there was still silicone on the inside. And yes, it did have the mesh, right, or whatever, but it's stupid because they were selling it at 4 millimeters. Why the freak do I want to buy a 4 millimeter when my earbud is 4.4? It's gonna cancel my sound, man. You need to find something that fits your driver the right size. Or else, I'm telling you, a lot of people won't notice the difference. I'm an audiophile. I've owned a lot of gear. I've at least spent, or invested in gear over the years, at least $100,000 in home audio, like sound systems, earbuds. These are the cheapest earbuds I've ever bought. Usually, I'm like BMW. I like. Some Focus are alright. I think they're kind of trash actually, and all these other brands that a lot of people haven't heard from, and I just don't post videos. But anyway, I love sound ever since I was a kid, and I know when something is wrong. When I installed these 4 millimeters, I knew something was wrong. I knew that the vocals and the highs were too high, and what happened to the bass? Well, it turns out the bass went away when this became narrow. This was supposed to stay straight. Instead, it went narrow because the end tip had to make up for the assembly of this. So when you install an earbud, understand what you're doing. Understand that you are canceling sound. You are, you're inhibiting the full potential of your driver. So anyway, I hope this helps. Again, it's easy. Again, I pay like 30 cents for this. I'm gonna return that. I pay like $5.99 for it, but it's garbage, bro. Like you're not gonna get the same sound if you install the smaller earbud to your earbud recommendation. The closer you could get this to this. If this was a 4.5, I mean, install it. You have more problems of it falling off than canceling the sound. But at that point, just try to deal with what you have now. Install that mesh, and you don't have to worry about it. As you saw, it took me less than 5 minutes to do it. So anyway, I hope this helps. You guys have a good day. Peace.